Aloha, this is Anna Surfing. Welcome to Beach Broadcast. Today is Tuesday, October 21st, 2025. Okay, it's going to be a short podcast. I'm just going to get right down to it. This is on FAFO updates, and then the National Guard, they got the green light. Court says, yeah, they can go to Portland. Ford, Buffett, Soros, funding, no kings. No kings and no large crowds and a lot of TDSers. I had no clue what they were doing out there. So the funding. So Anna Paulina Luna, the representative, congressperson, she posted the list of people, organizations funding. I'm going to call it the coup. You decide. The 294 billion no kings coup funded by the following low lifes. So these are titled here. Let me just go ahead and show this. There's Arabella, Buffett, Ford, Rockefeller, Soros, Tides. Arabella Advisors, Tides Foundation, Soros, the creepy guy, who was funded by USAID. Rockefeller, the family that enslaved the world. Ford, this surprised me. This is the Ford Foundation. It was founded by the son of Henry Ford, and then it carried on. And of course, that Henry Ford, it's the Ford Motor Company family. Okay. Buffett, either Warren or his son Howard Foundation. Either way, they're kind of all mixed together. But these billionaires, they're inciting riots against the sitting administration. So kind of gives you an idea. These are all the different partners, quote unquote partners that they have, all listed right here. And then it comes out to a total of $294 billion that was funded for the No Kings events. They didn't pick the best and the brightest at these events, but I'm sure they're just kind of warming up because looks like some bigger stuff is coming out. But so Warren Buffett, the guy who never shared any of his secrets like many of you do, you have made a great investment. You tell the world, right? You're not saying, oh no, you got to go ahead and be a part of the very expensive buying my stock Class A or Class B stock with Berkshire Hathaway and I'll share the secrets. No, you go out there and you share freely because we're beating this dirty matrix. I'm not even calling them elites. They are scum of the earth. Scum. Arabella, Warren Buffett, the Ford family, Rockefeller, we know that, Soros, and then Tides Foundation. Okay, so these are quote unquote foundations. Warren Buffett has 4 foundations. They all have multiple foundations, okay, for a reason. But why am I bringing this up? Excuse me, let me toggle back up. Because we're beginning to see that the No Kings events also has Antifa as part of these events, right? They're out there, they're doing what they're doing, and they're now classified as a domestic terrorist organization. We saw a clip yesterday of a woman who couldn't even explain why she's there and why she was protesting President Trump. And she's like, well, if you were to look at any video, that's what the majority of them are saying right now. The TDSers, they really have some kind of unfortunate derangement going on. Because they're out there now saying, we're not going to get our food stamp benefits for next month, so we're going to steal food. And they're now threatening people that are purchasing food that are not on those same benefits that they're on. They're going to go ahead and do something to you. And it's like, you guys are inciting criminal activity. And if you do this and then all these TikTokers are saying the same thing and they're all angry, but they're getting they're going out there and they're saying, you guys are paying for my rent. I have 7 children. All right. There's a woman that was out there doing that. Well, apparently she's only allowed to have a family of 4 in her apartment. So she ended up getting an eviction notice, and now she's crying. Now I think they're just trying to pull heartstrings, guys. They know how to pull the emotional heartstrings because they know we are wired differently. We don't think like them, but they know how to pull the heartstrings, and they're just really not. In my opinion, they definitely need Jesus. I just look at some of these videos and I just thought, I've really checked out for the last couple of days because I can't stand seeing them. I can't stand seeing them do their stupid stuff. Okay, so President Trump, he is now going after those that are funding Antifa. Remember when he signed the executive order He also made an announcement that he is going to go out. He goes, I'm pleased to inform you that many USA patriots that I am designating Antifa a sick, dangerous, radical left disaster as a major terrorist organization. I will also be strongly recommending that those funding Antifa will be thoroughly investigated in accordance with the highest legal standards and practices. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Period. So what happened? These two out of 10, there were 10 charged at this event that happened in Texas. These two actually got charged with, the grand jury came back, and these two got charged with terrorist charges. First time ever they were getting charged with terrorism charges, guys. So this event just happened 3.5 months ago. Is the Trump team working at lightning speed? Yeah. Are they really going fast now? Because I'm telling you, things are starting to turn around. Okay, just for an example, giving you this idea. This is a guy that, oh gosh, this is such a horrible crime that this guy, Jacoby Tillman, he was 23. He was arrested on October 10th for allegedly ambushing and choking a jogger unconscious in Orlando, facing charges of attempted murder and sexual battery. He had a prior battery conviction. The Ninth Circuit Judge Elaine Barbour initially set a $9,500 bond on October 12th, allowing his release despite acknowledge his atrocious record, which prompted criticism from the state attorney Monique Worrell and Orange County Sheriff John Mina. So what happened this morning? The judge revoked the bond after Tillman violated conditions by posting threatening social media comments, remanding him to custody without bail pending trial. This dude is done. He is done. They remember these criminals. I don't know. I'm going to show you his face here. I'm just going to scroll up. These criminals, they are so used to getting away with murder. They are used to getting a no bail. They get to go out and walk free after they just hurt, beat up, whatever they did. The horrific crimes, and now things are turning around. And I'm going to share something with you now. Where remember the two thugs that went over the Doge employee, and that he was known as Big Balls? Well, those two, that one was 19 and one was 18, Lawrence Powell and Anthony Taylor, 18, they are now charged, and it's because Janine Pirro, the U.S. attorney, stepped in, and because the judge who released them and said, "Oh no, you won't get charged. You can go ahead and be free." Let them pretty much go, and Janine says, Check this out.
Today, we are announcing that Lawrence Cotton Powell, who is 19 years of age, along with Anthony Taylor, who is 18 years of age, are now charged with assaulting Levine. Cotton Powell was stomping on Levine's head, as you can see in this poster to my left. Levine was able to get up momentarily, but the crowd chased him and got him down again. They continued to attack Levine while he was on the ground, and then proceeded to rob him of his sneakers and his watch. The group then, after the robbery and assault of Ethan Levine, they walked in the direction of where another crime occurred within minutes. You have heard of this crime. Edward Corristine, a 19-year-old Doge person who was working in the administration, was walking a young woman to her car when he was approached in the 1400 block of Swan Street Northwest. Approximately 10 suspects approached him, and as they did, he pushed the young woman into the car. And he was protecting her from the group before he was then attacked by multiple suspects, who then punched him repeatedly, causing significant injuries to him. They got him on the ground, and as they were doing so, They demanded the car from the woman who was inside the car and had already locked the car. They were banging on the car. They were pulling the car door, trying to get the car open, and were telling the woman in the car to hand over the keys. And the woman was, as I said, able to lock the car door, so they were unable to gain entry. And it was fortuitous that someone from the Metropolitan Police Department was on patrol. He happened to pull onto the block, and he witnessed the suspects actually assaulting Corricine, who was on the ground lying next to the car. Juveniles fled, but within a short period of time, two 15-year-olds were arrested, and they were taken into the family court by the Attorney General's office. That is the local Attorney General's office. Now, I think what's significant about this case is the history of Lawrence Cotton Powell. I want you to follow me on this. Lawrence Cotton Powell is 19 years of age. He's now charged with robbery, first-degree robbery, for which he faces 15 years in prison. He also faces a charge of assault with intent to commit robbery and another 15 years. And robbery for Edward Corricine, 15 years. Assault with intent to commit robbery, another 15 years. And attempted carjacking, 5 years. Now, let me tell you his background. On April 3rd of this year, Lawrence Cotton Powell was sentenced for a felony attempted robbery. My office asked for jail time. Judge McLean, a judge sitting in the criminal part in Superior Court with no criminal background, made a decision to give Cotton Powell probation in spite of his conviction on a felony attempted robbery. Within 31 days, by May 4th, Powell reoffends. He's rearrested while he's on probation from the felony, and he's charged with simple assault and possession of a prohibited weapon B. On May 4th, my office asked that probation be revoked. But on May 16th, that same Judge McLean comes back and releases Cotton Powell and tells him basically, be a good boy. On July 24th, he is sentenced to one of the two misdemeanors that he's charged with. Again, my office asked for jail time after he victimized yet another person. And on July 25th, another judge suspends his sentence and decides that he should be on probation. So after a felony of attempted robbery conviction, after a violation of probation, after a second crime, after a second conviction, after no compliance with C. Sosa, the judges say do better and they let him go. And guess what? Within 10 days, he's at it again with Ethan Levine and Edward Corricine. Now, the co-defendant in this case is an individual by the name of Anthony Taylor. He charged also with the same arrest. He is with the same crimes. He is from Maryland. He is 18 years old. We are unaware of any history as it relates to him. I want to thank the Metropolitan Police Department. I want to thank the fact that this department went above and beyond and worked incredibly hard.
Different rules, different way of running. This is what they are not used to. These criminal thugs were used to looting money, looting, stealing, robbing. They can go into a grocery store or any kind of store in California and take, $750 or $950 worth of goods and not get charged, do it again the next day and not get charged. And the rules are now changing. We have a new sheriff in town, and that is Donald J. Trump. And we have Janine Pirro, who stepped in to start to take action. Some of you are asking, why are they letting the judges do this? I call it they're setting the traps. Remember, the end isn't going to be for everyone. Greatness and goodness. Would you imagine a dirty judge living across the street from you, and you have the spirit of God and they have the spirit of, we want to make this world evil and corrupt. It's not going to be that way. These people have to get flushed out, and unfortunately it has to be through the system that they have a lot of control over, but she went ahead and stepped in. So a little bit of FAFO updates. Lucy Martinez, she's the Chicago teacher who mocked and reenacted the Charlie Kirk assassination, and she was at the protest on Saturday, the 18th, Saturday. Well, see what she's doing on the right video right there. See this? Okay, she ended up getting fired, guys. So some of you are saying she didn't get fired, that the school reprimanded her, but many other reports are coming in that she did get fired. This guy right here, he was making racial slurs. Check this out. So this guy goes out and yells, go back to Haiti. And then he sits down. He was telling Winsome Earl Sears to go back to Haiti. She's actually from Jamaica. A high-paying job, according to this post. He had a high-paying job at Lockheed Martin that he no longer has because he got fired. So the guy that flipped over the TPUSA table, he's been fired from the university. So he is the Illinois State University teaching assistant Derek Lopez, who was arrested for flipping over the table, and he's also been fired from the university.
This morning, one man is in custody. Authorities say he was trying to convince people on TikTok to kill immigration enforcement agents. Investigators say Eduardo Aguilar made the threat in Spanish, posting it last week, offering $10,000 for each ICE agent killed. He's in federal custody, facing up to 5 years in prison if convicted.
This TikToker who was bragging about stealing from Target gets arrested again. Oh, God, it's so hard to go through all of these. Andrew Stanton, he's the deranged leftist who called for violence against ICE and even fantasized about looting the bodies of the ICE agents. Well, he has also been arrested.
Ripping down a Trump banner at a Western North Carolina business and then shooting at the owner. Take a look at your screen here. This is Benjamin Campbell. He's from Atlanta and was arrested in Cobb County, Georgia. He's being held there, waiting to be extradited back to North Carolina. Campbell faces multiple charges, including felony assault with a deadly weapon. Now, the entire encounter was caught on camera. We brought this to you weeks ago here on Fox Carolina News. You can see a man park at the business, then go across the street and tear down the Trump banner off of a sign. Now, this is from last month at the Paddle Inn Rafting Company in Swain County, North Carolina. The owner told Fox Carolina that he saw this happening live and went outside and fired his rifle twice in the air. Then, as the man drove off, video shows him raising his gun out of the sunroof of the car. See that there? The deputies say the suspect, Benjamin Campbell, is the man with the gun that you see in this video. Earlier this week, Swain County deputies traveled to Georgia to arrest accused.
And then there was a TikTok plot to put bounties on the heads of ICE agents. It was exposed as an illegal immigrant, and that person was arrested in Dallas, Texas. Seeing the pattern now? So we've got this one here that got overturned, and then we got these two horrible people that got that ended up getting taken care of. They now are charged, and they'll be dealt with. So the troops are now also, because the courts are trying to prevent the troops from coming into Portland to do their thing. Well, the it was ruled on the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals on Monday to deploy the National Guard, and they're able to do that. And it was a big decision, and it will mean that Antifa in Portland are now in serious legal trouble and can immediately deploy the troops to Oregon National Guard troops to Portland on Monday. Okay, so the big question, which will be certainly mean Antifa in Portland, they're in big trouble. They're scared. They're not used to this. Now get ready, guys. Remember, we've been kind of getting ready for what big name is going to come out. Well, what big person, what big swamp name is going to get dealt with next? Well, President Trump, he just posted this today. Check this out.
Should shake every single American in their shoes. I hate to say this, but President Barack Obama, there is now incontrovertible evidence that he was the spearhead of a seditious conspiracy to subvert the will of the American people and overthrow the United States government back in 2016. We must, absolutely must, hold every one of these criminals accountable for the crimes that they committed. They are the most heinous crimes committed in American history. James Comey, John Brennan, Clapper, Rice, Biden was in the meeting in July 28th in the Oval Office. They briefed Barack Obama on Hillary Clinton's plan to, quote, tie Trump to Russia collusion lies. It consumed our national discourse for 5 years. It undermined a sitting duly elected president. It sabotaged administration. It framed a three-star general. It destroyed and ripped this country apart. We had a constitutional crisis, the likes of which I don't think any American can fully comprehend. It is atrocious, and every single one of them must be held accountable.
Liberals are losing their minds because they're like, this is just a small segment of a really massive crowd. Well, don't you think you'd share a picture of the mass crowd, right? They're also sharing a lot of old videos of like these big things that happened back in 2017. And not only that, these people aren't really that bright. Oh, this looks like a pretty decent size crowd. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay, next group, maybe another 20. Maybe 30. Okay, so 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, about 100 people. Wow, whoa. Guys, that's how long, I mean, if you were... President Trump had thousands, tens of thousands of people show up for one rally. This is like one of many of the different locations they have. So, whoa, wow, this is a massive crowd. All 18 people there. Wow. And then look at this one. Whoa, look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Wait a minute, let me move this over. 16. And then over to this side, 17 people. Wow, that's massive. I'm really trying to look for crowds, guys, and this is another one. It's massive. There's probably about 40 or 50 people right here. I honestly believe that the National Guard is out there for something bigger, and it would lead to back to that video I shared with you a few minutes ago. So let's get ourselves prepared. Remember, President Trump and also General Smith, they did warn us, so they are trying to give us some hints about that the next fight is coming. Trust me, it is coming. Also, one of the other things I did want to share with you and enlighten you on, we may, because we're going to be dealing with information warfare, we are out there, doing our digital warfare type of stuff, right? Well, get ready, because this particular AI who I really liked working with, well, they kind of went a little sideways today. Check this out. Look what happened. I was asking about Johnson open to subpoena Obama, and look what it did. It just typed a bunch of exclamation points. It got to this part right here, and then it just typed a bunch of exclamation points. So be prepared, because it seems like we're going to probably have another type of version of censorship, which might be the AI, and they may not be as friendly. So let's just get what we have and get your receipts and memes ready, because I have a funny feeling we're going to need them. And above all else, pray. God bless you. Have a beautiful day, afternoon, evening, and I will have a show very soon. Aloha.